Welcome to this tutorial video, where we will explain to you the main game mechanics of mystical games, The Legend of Drimek. The game is a cooperative experience for 2 to 4 players, where the main heroes will move on a vertical map, fighting enemies, destroying the map scenery, and creating items to open doors and escape the testing grounds where the necromancer has trapped them. The game offers mechanics inspired by the 80s and 90s platformer video games to the players, who will handle their heroes with their gamepad controllers. The Legend of Drimek includes 10 game stages of increasing difficulty, riddled with challenges and adventures for the heroes. For example, in the first stage, you will have to place the colored totems as indicated by the mission to progress to the next stage. At the start of each round, take all the initiative tokens of the heroes and enemies currently on the board. Shuffle them and place them randomly on the initiative track of the board as indicated. Then, following the order indicated on that track, both the heroes and the enemies will play their turns. Before you start each of the 4 sections of the initiative track, you will have to check if there are more heroes than enemies, more enemies than heroes, or the same quantity of both. If there are more enemies than heroes, draw a hero card event. If there are more heroes than enemies, draw an enemy event card. If there are the same number, don't draw an event card. Once you complete the 2nd and 4th sections of the initiative track, draw a respawn card that will indicate which new scenery elements to add to the board and where to place them. When the turn of a hero arrives, the player handling that hero will use the gamepad controller of that hero's board. The hero will have 4 movement dice and press button tokens available to use on their controller. Each hero has a different combination of press button tokens. On their turn, each player can perform 7 actions to choose from. Move. At the start of a turn, the player will roll their movement dice. The results will indicate the movements available in each direction of the controller. Place the movement die on the direction you want to move to on the controller, and move in that direction up to as many spaces as indicated by the die. You can move to the left, to the right, downwards, as long as there are no scenery elements or enemies on them, or even upwards if there is a staircase. Jump. Place a press button token on the corresponding space of the controller and mark the direction of the jump with movement dice to jump to a higher level of the board. You may jump to any of the 3 spaces adjacent to the hero, as long as there are no scenery elements or enemies on them. Melee attack. Place a press button token on the attack space of your controller to deal 1 damage to an adjacent enemy. You can also use this action to destroy scenery elements and obtain resources, as well as item cards. Ranged attack. Place a press button token on the ranged attack space of your controller. Choose a direction and deal 1 damage to the first enemy in that direction. You may perform this attack in any direction. Use. Whenever you are next to an interactive scenery element, such as totems, place a press button token on the use space of your controller to interact with them. This action allows you to change the color of totems, remove spider webs, push things, build stuff, activate switches, and use combos. Defense. At the start of the game, each hero has a defense point on their controller. These points protect you from receiving damage from enemy attacks. You may recover 1 defense point by using this action. Each time your hero defeats an enemy, draw a resource cube. These cubes may be used as wildcards to move and perform actions. You can also keep them at the center of your controller to charge your special skill. Each hero has their own special skill. Barbarian. Perform an attack on every adjacent space that damages or destroys everything, except for totems. Dwarf. Charges through the lane where it is currently at, destroying everything in its wake and damaging enemies. Afterwards, the dwarf charges back to his starting space of the lane, damaging any enemies left on its path for a 2nd time. Elf. She can jump to any space on the board. Sorceress. She can move the totems on the opposing side of the Colosseum from her side. When you defeat an enemy, mark it with your hero token. Check the enemy combination indicated on the board to see if you match any of them, and if you do, you may draw a combo card that will give you additional actions. When a hero is knocked out, place its initiative token on the last space of the initiative track. When the turn of an enemy comes, draw a card from that enemy's deck and apply it. These cards will tell you that enemy's actions for the round. Each enemy has a different behavior. Rats. They will steal your resources or will deal you damage if you don't have any. Spiders. They shoot spider webs that will affect the directional pad of your controller or the spaces on the board. Skeleton. They perform an automatic attack when they spawn on the board and can change sides to the Colosseum. Orc. Their cards indicate the number of actions they have available. Goblin. They perform a ranged attack according to the pattern indicated by their cards. Lizard. They only move in waterfall spaces and will shoot in both directions after moving. Many item cards will indicate that an enemy spawns on the space where the destroyed scenery was. The heroes will continue playing rounds until the victory conditions are met or all the heroes are knocked out.